Hi everyone, it's Leona with Leona's Designs, and I am here on World Embroidery Day. So I decided, since it's World Embroidery Day today, July 29th, that I should do some stitching. I just watched a video by Sarah Humphrey on YouTube. She posted the World Embroidery Day 2024 video, and I was pleased and happy to be a part of that. Everyone from around the world was showing their stitching projects, very different kinds of embroidery and stitching, and it was really, really enjoyable to watch all and see all the beautiful creations that people have or are stitching. So I was really pleased and happy to be a part of that. Thank you, Sarah. I will link that video below if any of you want to go and watch it and see my creation, a work in progress, and the many others from around the world. And Sarah has a great embroidery channel. If you haven't checked that out, I would encourage you to do so. But today I'm going to be working on the Stitch With Me 2024 for July, hosted by Danella Mellon, and it's the project for 2024 where she gives a prompt every month, and then we are to work that out either in a stitch book or on a scroll or a wall hanging or wherever we might want to do that. And for the last 6 months I have been making 6 by 6 inch blocks and hoping to make them into a wall hanging. But now for this next 6 months I'm hoping to do a scroll. Danella's been doing a scroll, and I haven't done one, and I really want to try doing one. So that's my plan for July through December, is each month to work my stitch project on a scroll. So I've got it all planned out. I've got it all laid out here at my desk, and I will turn the camera now and show you just what my plan is, and we'll get started. Okay, so here is the scroll that I'm hoping to create. It's about 40 inches long. It's muslin, and it's just a piece of muslin that I folded over, so it's about 4.5 inches wide and 40 inches long. And I'm hoping to make each month's piece about 6 inches down on this square, and then at each end I'm going to leave 2 inches to turn under. And I do want to hang this scroll on the wall at some point, so I'm working my pieces downward instead of sideways. So for this month, the prompt for Stitch With Me 2024 July is Entwined. And Danella was making a weaving on her scroll, and I thought it was really neat, so I wanted to try to do that also. So I've got it all marked out with my little 1/4 inch measurements here, and I hope to use this cotton thread to just stitch lines all the way across, and then I'm going to weave in this red, white, and blue yarn, hopefully, and I have some red, white, and blue scraps here that I'm going to just cut into small strips and try to weave those in also. I'm using red, white, and blue because here in the USA, July is Independence Day, and we celebrate 4th of July with red, white, and blue. So I thought that would be appropriate colors for July. And then I wanted to put the prompt Entwined on there, but the only stamps I have are about 1/2-inch stamps, so they're just a little too big to stamp on this scroll. So I guess I'm going to have to print it. And I do have these permanent fabric markers that I just ordered off of Amazon. I don't know how they work or if they work well, but I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to use them to write the word entwined. So I'm going to get started now. I'm going to thread my needle with this, excuse me, this red cotton thread, and we'll get started stitching our weaving lines. And hopefully this is going to work. I gotta get a needle that has a big enough head for this thread to go through. I think this one will work. I did do a weaving project a few months ago for one of K3N's challenges, and it was pretty fun, but it was just using fabric. It wasn't using yarn or thread or anything, so I'm kind of excited to try this. And see how it turns out. Every project is exciting because you just never know what you're going to end up with. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom and just bring the needle up through this first little dot that I created. I just marked everything out with a pencil. And I marked here is the end of the 6-inch. This is my 6-inch area that I can use for July. And I'm going to go back in at the top. I'm going to pull it taut, but not really tight. Just want it to lay flat. And then I'm going to bring the needle up to the second dot. And down through the bottom. And pull that tight. Got a loop back here. I don't know how that happened. So I better pull it. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to keep doing that all the way across until I get all my lines formed for my weaving, and then I will be back to start weaving. Okay, so I've got all the threads stitched in, and it really was a little difficult to do because you don't want it to pucker up, which I think it did a little bit. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I tried to keep them laying flat, but it's a little difficult to do. So I'm hoping now I can start weaving. I think I'm going to start with this blue thread, or blue yarn. do a couple rows of that. I can find where it starts here. Where do you start? Must be an end here somewhere. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to start going under, over, under. Under, over, under. Under, over, under. And would be easier if I could use a needle, but over, under. Just got to keep track of where it's over and under. Over, under. 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 So I'm assuming that this is going to take a while. Under, over, under. So there's my first weave. I'm going to leave a tail. Actually, I'm just going to pull it through and come back. Hopefully I can do that. And I'm going to go just the opposite. I'm going to go over, under, and over and under. Probably, if I got a yarn needle, it would make it a lot easier, I think. Under, over, under, over. I'm going to pause this and get a yarn needle, see if that will make this easier. Okay, well, excuse me, the yarn needle does make it a lot easier. You can just go in and out, all the way across, real easy. So I've got 3 rows done there with the blue. I'm gonna snip that off. And then I'm gonna go, I think, with some fabric. I think I'll do some red fabric. And I won't be able to use the needle for that probably. But I'm just going to cut a small piece. Hopefully this will rip. And I'll see if I can weave this in. And this was under, so I need to go over. And if I could put it through this needle. This needle's got a pretty big eye. So I'm gonna go over, under, 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 over. Just pull that through. Push it down. And that worked okay. And then at the end, when I get them all in there, I'm gonna just stitch it down on the sides and probably do some stitches in the middle. So now I think I'll try the white yarn and do maybe 3 rows of that. See how that works. This yarn needle really makes it easier. So I went over here, so I go under, over, 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 under. Oops. Under, over, under, over, under. Let's pull that through far enough because I want enough to make 3 rows. I think that should be enough to make 3 rows. And then I'll just go back. I'll start over, under, 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 over. Really got to concentrate with this. And you can't pull it too tight. Which I kind of did right there. Have to pull that back. I'll leave a loop there. So it's not so tight. Okay, straighten out. I think this is puckered and it's not working as well as it should. But it is what it is, so I'll have to work with it like that. But I'm just going to keep doing this. I'll show you a close-up. I'm just going to keep doing this all the way up, hopefully, until I get it done. I'll just keep going over and under with the yarn and the material, and then I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, I've got them all weaved in, and excuse me, I'm very happy with how it turned out. Wasn't sure exactly how it was gonna work out because it was a little puckered, but it worked out fine. I've got all 3 different colored yarns and the 3 different fabrics. And this yarn needle really helped. So if you're going to try this, I would suggest getting one of these, just a plastic yarn needle with a big head. And they're all weaved in there. And now what I think I need to do is stitch down each side, and then I'll cut the ends off. So I'm just going to hopefully turn it and stitch down each side. And I'm going to make sure I catch all the, I will have to, excuse me, couch over the yarn and catch that loop. So I'm happy how it turned out, but it was challenging. So the tip is to not pull when you're first starting out with these vertical threads. Excuse me. Don't pull too tight. Make sure that it lays flat. I think a couple of them I pulled a little too tight, and that's why it puckered up. But I was able to work it out. But obviously they can't be too loose, or you're not going to be able to weave in and out correctly. So it's a little tricky, but it's a fun exercise if you want to give it a try and see what you can come up with. I'll link Danella's video below also, because she did hers, and first time turned out really nice. So I'm just going to make sure I get each thing stitched down, because after all that I do not want it to come apart. And I'm happy I'm able to get this done, because today's July 29th. So in a couple of days we'll be into August, and there'll be a new prompt for August. I can't believe we're already almost into August. It's like, where did the summer go? Summer's my favorite season, and it always goes too fast. Just couching down this yarn. And then almost to the top. Just little straight stitches to secure it on the edge. And there we go. That should do it for that side. I'm going to tie my thread off, and I will go down the other side. Oops. Got a knot there where I didn't want to get it, I guess. I don't know what happened there. But it's not. So I will be back to show you the results. Okay, I've got it all stitched down. I cut off the side pieces and I'm really happy with how it looks. I think it turned out very well. I pressed it down so it lays pretty flat. And now I'm going to try to print out the word entwined to put at the top. I penciled it in there, but I don't like how it looks, so I'm going to try to write it on this and then stitch this down. So I'm going to get something to write on here. And I think I will press this down. I got this little iron on Amazon because my other little iron broke. This is a bigger one and a better one. I'm really liking it. It really gets hot. So it works well. It wasn't that expensive either. It's like a little travel iron. Oops. So I'm just gonna write, I'm gonna print this red and then blue. E N T W I N E with the red and with the blue N these fabric markers seem to be well good. They're printing smoothly. D. Okay, hopefully that will fit on there and I can get it stitched down. These fabric markers are permanent fabric markers. By Mr. Pen on Amazon. It's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 different ones. So far so good with them. I just got them and they work well. I had some tulip ones that I've had forever, but only had 4 different colors. So I ordered these because I was doing flower pounding and I thought I might need to paint some of the flowers that didn't pound well. So now, oh yes, that will look nice. Just gonna cut this to size. And then stitch that on. I think I'll glue it down first. Oops, you can't see. Sorry about that. There. So Entwined is going to go right at the top. And then still have some space down here at the bottom. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch something here. I have about this much space at the bottom. I might just do some random stitching like this and then back through, just kind of entwining my stitches. I'm not sure, but first of all I'm going to stitch this down, put a little glue on it. Just to hold it down. And I had a needle with some thread somewhere, I thought. I'm going to use red. Guess I got to thread my needle again. So this is a good day for stitching for me because the weather here is like really cool. It was only supposed to get up to 70 degrees today. And it was 67 the last time I looked. So pretty cool weather for summer. Hopefully it's going to warm up. Because it's feeling like fall. And I don't want fall yet. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch some little straight stitches all around this, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got the word stitched down, and now I'm going to try to make this entwined chain stitch. I'm going to do a chain stitch in red and then a chain stitch in blue, so it looks like some loops entwined. So don't think I've done the chain stitch before, but it looks pretty easy. I'm going to come up here on the line and then go back right down in that same hole. And before I pull the loop closed, I'm going to come up, back up on the line. And then pull the loop closed. And that gives me a little chain. I don't know if you can see that. And then you just continue doing that all along your line. So now, where I came up in the middle of that loop, I go back down in that same hole. Hopefully I can see it. And I make that loop. But I keep it open. And I come up on the line again in the middle of the loop. And pull it chain stitch on the line. So I'm going to try to do that all along these lines, and hopefully I'll have a chain stitch. I'll be back to show you. Okay, well, I am finished. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I got all those chain stitches, all the chain stitches done. And I really like how they turned out. The chain stitch is not hard, just takes a little while. I made small chains, so of course if you made bigger ones it would go quicker. But I really enjoyed that stitch and I will be using that more. And I'm happy with my weaving and my word. So this is the first month of my scroll. I'm going to have to add a little bit to the top. I'm hoping to roll it on this little thankful rolling pin that I got at Hobby Lobby quite a few months ago, not years. Quite a few months ago I picked this up. I think it was around Thanksgiving, and I was hoping to use it for a scroll. So it will work fine, but I'm going to have to add some more to the top here to attach that. But I'm happy with how it turned out, and this is my first scroll, so I'm excited. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope I inspired you to maybe try making a weaving or a chain stitch, or just try making a scroll. I hope to see you again soon for my next video, whatever that is. And if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe so you will get a notification. I do post videos at least once a week. Hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.